fill your thirst beside the river. Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far, you understand.
Hi, welcome to Healing Outside the Box. This is our 175th show, and the title of the show is Are We All Mediums? And my name is Rosemary Lachance, and I'm your host, and I am an energy healer and a spiritual therapist.
Hi, and I'm your co-host, and my name is Dina Scungio, and I'm a student and teacher of spirituality.
We are the co-hosts for this thought-provoking series and are dedicated to providing you with food for thought information and answers to all modalities of alternative healing, spiritual development, animal welfare, environmental concerns, and so much more in the form of guest speakers who are experts in their fields.
To find out what shows are playing in your area and when they are playing, please contact the public service channel in your town. To find their website, please check Rosemary's website, where you will find a list of all the towns that air this show under Healing Outside the Box. We'll give you the website address at the end of the show. And also, please go to Facebook and like our show under Healing Outside the Box, where you can learn about and see pictures of our past guests, ask questions, or leave a comment. We're also getting shows up on YouTube as well.
Yes.
So you can go to YouTube and type in Healing Outside the Box, and you'll be able to see some of our past shows.
And we're getting them up slowly but surely, so keep checking back, and you'll eventually see all the shows. It's going to be wonderful. And we have with us tonight, speaking of wonderful, Mr. Roland Comptoir.
Hi
Welcome.
there. Thank you very much. Hi there. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
Let me give you a little bit of information about Roland. A nationally acclaimed inspirational speaker, spiritual medium, author, and radio host, Roland Comptoir is a professional healer and spiritual medium with over 30 years of experience as a gerontology? How do you say that?
Gerontology nurse.
Gerontology nurse. You know that because you're in the business. A Reiki master, metaphysical teacher, and grief specialist. Thus, his expertise extends from the physical to the spiritual as he shares healing modalities and messages that nurture and balance mind, body, and soul. Roland's mission is to help people find comfort in life in spite of loss and show them how to move beyond grief with love and hope, and to pass on the message that heaven and eternal love are real and always close at hand. He is the founder of TalkStream Spiritual Radio and the Living Beyond Loss Conference, now in its 10th year. His work is currently sought after by television production companies eager to showcase his signature purple papers. Okay, we mentioned purple papers. You want to just give us a brief explanation about that before we start?
Sure. As a medium, I get lots of messages, and I've been getting lots of messages my whole life, 40-something years of getting messages. And 11 years ago, I had this feeling that I had to take those messages that I was hearing and feeling and experiencing them and just put them on paper. And then what has happened now in the last 11 years is I go to an event and I hand a purple paper to someone in the audience with their loved one's name on it, their story, their life story, and it's one way of reminding the audience member who's receiving that paper that love is everlasting.
Isn't that wonderful?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a very powerful way to say that you are not alone.
That is wonderful. That's really, really wonderful. And please, can you tell our audience how you became a believer and then a medium in all this?
Well, you know, for me, it's been a journey of 44 years. It's started when I was a young child, feeling things, sensing things. I mean, a very young child. We're talking 5 or 6 years old. And then there was the realization that there is more beyond here, which happened when my grandmother died 40-something years ago. She appeared to me I was interested. I was 10 years old. I wondered what that was all about. Like, why was she there? And it sent me on this journey of telling the story that we live on. I had a near-death experience 30 years ago at an event, collapsed. My cousin was there trying to get my pulse, and I died and went into some light, some place. And so all of these events in my life have taught me with absolute certainty that there's something else. And so it started, and it's been ongoing ever since.
That's great.
Now, did you grow up with a foundation? What type of religious foundation did you grow up with?
Sure, I'm Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
I sang in the Catholic Church. I led many things in the Catholic Church. And so there wasn't someone who said, don't do this or do this. It was just something I felt inside and continued on. However, I did not say to the world, hey, I'm seeing dead people. I just went about my business one step at a time and found my way. Even my mother wasn't sure, right? My mother would say, oh, no, Roland, not another message, right? not another something. And I'd say, yeah, Mom, there is another something, And just before she passed, it became very real to her that there was something very powerful about the afterlife. So it's been an ongoing experience for me. Ongoing.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
I believe that we all have the opportunity to return.
Yes.
I died, went up there, checked a few things out, came back. Have I been reincarnated in the defined way that reincarnation is? But I certainly came back with a new lease on life, I'll tell you. And I'm certainly seeing things in a much different way than I did prior to that experience.
Right. Yeah, for me, that answered so many questions, reincarnation, about life. And it just answered almost everything for me, understanding why things happen to people and how do we all get a fair chance when some of us are born deaf, some of us are born blind, some of us are crippled, some of us are retarded. I'm going, that's not fair. So that helped answer the questions for me.
I find that interesting because I think whatever you're born with, I imagine sometimes that person that's there with that situation or condition are there as an instrument of some kind, because they teach the rest of us how to be compassionate, how to understand kindness, how to be loving, and I like you, I look at it from many different perspectives. Yes, reincarnation is part of the story on some level, and yes, that person may have that mission so that we become better humans on the journey. So there's many ways, I think, of looking at that.
Oh, so many.
Yes, so many.
We really can't tell, because someone goes through something and say, oh, well, he was bad, he did this or that. No. We come here to make up, to learn, and to teach. That's what we do.
I firmly believe that as well. And I think if we don't complete the story, then we come back.
Right.
One of the things that I write about in my first book is that we all have to experience the energy of love. And if we did not accomplish that here, then we may need to revisit that experience, right? We have to come back to understanding what love is truly about, because it is the love. Love is the only vehicle, the only part of us that allows us to expand in some way. And maybe if we don't achieve that, we have to come back and rediscover what that's all about.
And loving ourselves is just as important. We can't.
Oh, please,
great
yes.
concept.
Right?
Yes.
What do you
yes.
That's a great concept.
Yeah.
What's the name of your book, your first book?
My first book is called And Then There Was Heaven, A Journey of Hope and Love. It's a spiritual memoir, and I'm telling all kinds of stories throughout the book and sharing my perspective.
And the second book?
The second book is called 16 Minutes, When One Breath Ends, Another Begins. And that one is about my mother's passing and the lessons that a spiritual medium and the experiences that a medium goes through, right? Someone came up to me once and said, "What are you crying for?" I said, well, I'm a 50-year-old kid that just lost that one person who understood all aspects and parts of me. That's why I'm crying. And so I talk about that in my book. And it's a very intensely raw journey through loss, grief, bereavement, and beyond. And that's what that book's all about.
Yeah. Oh, we certainly cry. With my beliefs, I mean, you can't help it. You miss the presence. You miss that person.
Yes.
It's just, definitely.
It's the presence. I think that's the worst.
Yeah.
Do you remember if you felt that calmness and that loving atmosphere when you died and went up there that we hear about, in some books of people.
It was by far the most extraordinary thing I've ever felt in my life. I mean, so much so now that we have just developed and have spent many years putting together a stage show telling that one story. And so we take the audience to a place of peace. The word peace doesn't even describe what I felt there. And I'm telling you the story now, and I'm getting emotional by the story. It was something beyond the word peace. And I don't know what that word is, but it's beyond peace. And what you see there, what you feel there, what you experience there is extraordinary. Can I just share one thing about this? One of the most remarkable parts of the experience was that when I came back here, right, it was as if all the colors and all the feelings and all the experiences I had here were also accessible to me here in the physical plane, in the physical world. And so there are amazing lessons that the experience taught me, and we're now going to bring that to life on a stage with original music and original songs and videos, and you'll have to check it out some point.
Where's it? When do you plan to finish production?
Yeah, we're close to finishing our production. We're in rehearsals, and we will have a launch date and all that set up very soon. It's going to be our mission is to take the audience member on the same journey that I went on by bringing the words and the stories and the energy and the feelings of peace. Again, it was beyond peace that I felt there.
Will it be on your website?
Yes, it'll be everywhere.
How about your Facebook page?
It'll be everywhere.
Both there.
You have a
Okay,
Facebook page as well?
Yes, it'll be everywhere.
The audience can look on both those places, and you will find out where you can see this and when. That'd be wonderful. We're going to go.
That
It's
would
going to
be wonderful, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
It's interesting, the topic that you've chosen for today's experience here with us, right? The idea of being a medium came to life as I was there in that afterlife when the voice said, you have a mission to tell people about love. And it takes us here to this moment of time. I think that everything was orchestrated for this moment of time, so that we could have this conversation, so that somebody out there might just feel a little bit better about their lives, about their experiences, right? Because that's the name of the game here. That's what we need to do for each other. And maybe all of it has come together for this precise moment, so the three of us gather here and maybe become a beacon of hope for somebody out there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thought, isn't it? It really is.
I've started to believe that more and more. Even if you just affect one person, it still matters.
You know, it's interesting that you bring that up, because for 30 years, I've been doing private readings for people, and I said that every person who sat in front of me came into that room to teach me a lesson, to show me how to see a part of myself that I hadn't been able to see before, that taught me how to see the world, to see the experience as it truly is. And so I understand that. It's the way we should live.
That's really true.
Yes.
I do angel card readings, and sometimes I'll do so many in a few hours. And just what you said, I never thought of that before, but you just brought to my mind. You get to know these people, and you listen to them, and they're teaching you something as you're doing. So
you know what was amazing, Rosemary, was that when that person sat in front of me and the message came through for them, it was exactly what I needed in that moment. And I thought, whoa, the universe is up to something here. They must have known that I needed a little extra support somehow. And that's how it was demonstrated, at least.
I keep hearing the same thing from either watching a movie or talking to maybe my pastor at church, or hearing everybody. I keep giving me the message that whatever's happening right now in your life is what's supposed to be happening.
Sure, absolutely
and you keep thinking you're supposed to be somewhere else, but you're right where you're supposed to be.
We could have a whole show about that, really, because that's a big topic.
Next show.
Yeah, write it down. Write it down. Because that's an important
Right.
conversation to have.
Dina, she's known about these things since I had my awakening, but she was like this. But maybe, a year ago, or not even maybe, she had a great spiritual awakening.
Wow.
And it was just wonderful for her. And she's been really diving into it now.
How old was I when you started to?
Well, it was in '75 when I
Oh, so I was about
started
8.
searching.
Okay.
So what were you about?
8.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Well, because when I was, how old was I when Poppy died? When my grandfather died, I saw him. They didn't. Her and my grandmother were there, and I saw him on a mountaintop. There's a whole dream
Nice.
that I went through, and just never. I knew that I saw him, but I didn't really understand it because I
Sure.
was 10. So.
Sure.
What did you think, like, when you first started, being as young as you were, when you first started getting messages and seeing things, what did you think?
I thought everybody else was getting messages.
Oh, you did?
I didn't think I was the abnormal person or the, I thought everybody was doing the same thing. It was until someone said, oh my God, the kid's crazy, That's when everything changed. That's when the whole experience became something else, right? But it's normal. Look, every person has the ability to get a message, is a medium. By the way, I have never read a book that said Roland Comptoir is the medium, right? It doesn't say that. And if you believe in Catholicism, then read Corinthians 12:9. If you believe in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, read the idea that the universe goes on and on and on and on. Many religious beliefs support the idea that there's something else. Many religious beliefs, and we all have the same ability to be a medium. Granted, I've been working on it for 44 years, and I'm still working on it, by the way. And because I'm working on it, I maybe done a little more than the next person. But the fact is, you have something in you, and you have something in you, and when you tap into that something, man, the doorways to that space widen. They widen. They don't close. And so I think we all have an opportunity to really step into who we really are, right? One of the other lessons I learned on the other side was that we're not separate. We're all connected in some way. That separation exists only in our mind. It doesn't exist in our souls, but it does in our mind. And when we become more aware of that understanding, then we take a step towards who we truly are. You're a medium, I'm a medium. Somebody out there watching is a medium, right? And we're all really making connections in some way.
You answered my first question I was going to ask you. Are we all mediums?
I think so. I really do.
Okay.
I do. I mean, I remember my 9-year-old daughter on September 11th sitting at the edge of her bed having a conversation with a man that passed away. She was having a conversation. I never told her. I mean, certainly she saw what I did and have for the many years that we've been here. She saw that experience. But the reality is she had a conversation, right? A mother calls me from Chicago and she says, I'm dying. My time is coming to an end here. She was very ill. And she said, how am I ever going to stay connected to my children? And we began to have this long conversation about how each and every one of us is a medium. Tell your kids how to hear your voice when you pass on. Teach them now to make the connection, and it will foster who they truly are, because everyone has the opportunity. Everyone.
So, okay, you made that statement. So I'm sure there are audiences out there saying, "What do you mean I'm a medium? How do I know I'm a medium? Can you fill us in a little bit more?"
Have you ever felt something you can't explain? Have you said something like you said, "Come on, Ma," and then out of nowhere, something comes in your mind. You find some old photo. A butterfly crosses your path. Something happens. Is that being a medium? The medium is the intermediary between two places. Here it's heaven and earth, right? We all have the ability to feel those experiences in our lives. It's when we fine-tune that we really get to expand it. Even the skeptics who come to see me ask for signs and messages. They too want to believe, maybe, that there is something more to the story. But we've all had dreams where our loved ones have appeared to us. We've all felt the touch of on our shoulder. We've all had a moment where the phone rings out of nowhere. And what do? We either step into that experience as a possibility, or we shut it down. The more that you step into it, the more that you become part of that bigger picture, or that bigger part of us. I want to say something to you because it's on my mind and I'm feeling it. I don't think being a medium is a gift.
No.
We all have a gift.
I don't like that gifts.
Yeah, I don't either.
Everybody says, oh, you have a gift, you have a gift. We all have the same gifts.
We all have the
It's
same
all how
opportunity.
you-
Who develops
how it
it and
comes
who
out,
doesn't want to develop
Yeah.
it. That's all. Well, then,
It's how it's what I just said. What you just said.
yeah.
We all have something in
Yeah,
us.
no one is more special
Some
than
people
anyone
are
else.
afraid of it.
It's
I
how
think.
it's
They are
how we
afraid.
look at it, how we nurture that, how we get support from those around us. Because sometimes you need a little extra help to take that step forward. But that's a part of us. That's a part of us, and we have to help each other through that experience somehow.
Right. We all have the same opportunity.
We do.
All of us, every single one of us, yeah.
You know, it's interesting.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've always thought that. You know, and I hate to say to somebody, well, you have a gift. Well, you have a gift too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's interesting to me that, you know, the lines and lines of people come to see me, and I say to them, I got bad news for you. If anyone told you you need a medium to get a message, they lied to you. They totally lied to you. You know, your mother's not hanging around my house all day long. You know, what do you think?
least you
My
hope she's
car
not.
was full of people on the way to the event. But in fact, what we do, what
I can picture that.
it's true.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's
We'll
all
be
hop in the
late.
car, go for a ride. But you know what a medium does, though, is bridge grief to peace, at least from my perspective, and gives you the opportunity to remember love. Now, there are plenty of relationships that weren't so loving in life, but we still have to remember love. That's how we grow, expand, learn, and discover who we truly are. That's how we get to those places.
Do you ever get like, you know, if you know you're going to be doing a conference or a show, however you call it,
Yes.
with people the next day? Do you get like stuff the night before, like people who want to
Sure.
communicate with someone you're going to go see, and they come and say, hey, you know?
So this is a perfect example of the purple papers. So let me just give you a little
Okay,
story
okay,
about
yeah.
that. Yesterday I did a very big event in Rhode Island. The morning of that event I was writing a message from a girl who passed away named Kelly. And Kelly on this purple paper gave me a very extravagant message about her journey. She was very ill, and it's all laid out on this purple paper. It shows the doctor's office, the hospital, the house, and then on the bottom it says, hey sis, and on the other side it said, hey mom. I'm in the audience, I'm doing the presentation, and this purple paper, the one that was written hours ago, belonged to a woman in the third row. Her sister was named Kelly. Her sister died from an unbelievable illness. In that moment, that woman understood that the possibilities were real. Now, here's another quick story. On March 27, 2015, I got a message from someone named Teresa Mary. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I hope it's for me. My mother's name is Teresa Mary, but it turned out it wasn't my message. Yesterday, same event, right? The purple paper gets exposed on the screen for the entire audience to hear. And a woman comes up and says to us, my mother's name was Teresa Mary. And she goes on to read the entire message, and everything was verbatim of what she needed. But what was so profound was that the message was written 5 days before her mother passed away. I held that paper for 18 months, waiting to find the rightful owner. And in that moment, that daughter found a moment of peace.
Wow.
So, yes to
That's
your
what's
question.
important, yeah.
Yeah, I'm long-winded. I could have just said yes, but I gave you the long
Oh,
story.
I like the explanation.
I gave you the
I
long
like that
story.
better.
Yes, explain everything. We have time. We want to hear it all. No, that's
Sometimes even when you believe and you know that there's something more and all that, you don't get that closure or that peace unless you hear something from them. You know, I pray for that all the time. I've been fortunate enough to be able to see and hear all of my loved ones that I've wanted. Even my dogs came back to see me after they passed. So.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing.
Oh.
So are you a medium then? The question is, are you a medium?
I
What
imagine.
allows that opportunity? What allows that moment to happen for you? Is it because there's a part of you that is sensitive to that energy? And if you are sensitive to that energy, then are you able to communicate? Are you able to have a conversation with those people that you love? And I think that we all have that opportunity inside of us. That's how I see it.
I had a dream just a few days ago where I was standing there and people were walking by me, and each one came up, and there were young people and older people, and each one came up and hugged me and kissed me on the cheek, and then they walked down, hugged me, kissed me on the cheek, and I would say, I woke up, I go, "Ooh, that was so nice!
Yeah.
I'm so happy today! What a wonderful dream! I feel so good."
It did something, revitalized you.
Wow, yeah,
re-energized
it was just
you.
A nice thing. I just remembered. I forgot about
it. If you don't know it right now, there's a lot of astrological changes going on. There's a lot of changes with the solar flares, which are causing those of us that are sensitive to be more sensitive to energy or to heighten our awareness. So there's a lot of people who are very sensitive, who are feeling a lot of things, who are dreaming vivid dreams or having nightmares or going through some changes. So I would say to you and everybody else, just take it easy. Go easy on yourself. And this intensity will also pass, will also change.
I was telling Roland I've been having very vivid dreams. You have been too, right? About people I don't even know.
Yeah.
And places I haven't been before and things like that. Some nice, some not too nice.
I've always, for some reason, kept in the back of my mind, I don't remember where I'd read it, but someone had said that we live alternate lives in alternate universes.
Sure.
And sometimes I think that maybe somehow I get a glimpse into it because nothing is familiar at all. And no one is familiar to me, but yet I'm there.
I love that. I love that. I love having a glimpse into those worlds. I think that's a very interesting concept. And it may be happening more than we know it, right? It may be happening, and it's an interesting concept for sure.
I remember you just made me think of something else again. And I had a dream a long time ago where I went somewhere, and it was like the meeting was over, and it was almost like there was all rock, but it was gold.
Yeah.
You know, gold all on the rocks and everything. And I went up to this man who was a teacher, and I said, "Oh," and I felt so peaceful. And I said, "This is wonderful." I said, "Can I stay? I want to stay." He said, "No, you're not. It's not ready for you yet. You're not ready yet." He goes, "But you can come and visit anytime you want." Just like that.
I love that.
Yeah. So that was really nice. So that might have been, a little into the after. In a dream. It was a dream.
You traveled somewhere, and you went somewhere to a place where you needed to receive something. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gone there. We're here because we need to receive something so that we can give and be and love and do the things we're supposed to do. So you went there for some reason. Absolutely.
Yeah, and to tell the people, if you're like me, I can remember so clearly my dreams as if I'm saying, did it happen?
Yeah.
Or do you have that?
Yeah, sure.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty
wow.
amazing. The whole experience is amazing.
What would prevent us from becoming a medium?
Sure, fear. Or someone saying to you, don't do that. Or someone saying to you it's the wrong thing to do, or we have our own preconceived notions about what it is or what it isn't. Often people come up to me and say, "Don't tell me any bad news." Well, there's no bad news to tell at this moment. There's only the story of your relationship and the love and the energy. And so what holds us back is fear. Fear can immobilize you. Forget about it just as a medium. It can immobilize you in your life, right? And so here it plays a very significant role in people not wanting to explore that aspect of who they are.
Now that was my next question. What do they fear? What do you?
Well, they fear the unknown. They fear the unknown. They fear it because someone said to them, "It's bad." They fear it because they have an insecurity somewhere within themselves about the possibility, or they haven't defined what it is for themselves. Fear gets in the way. It holds them back from really making a discovery. Many times mothers who have lost children come up to me and say, "How can I feel my son? I'm afraid to, but I want to." And they have this kind of juxtaposition of where they should or should not be. And when it's all said and done, if you bring your loved one's face, image, love, energy here, right now, you'll start to feel something inside. It's like the doorway to that part of you just opens up a little bit, and you begin to feel things that you hadn't felt before.
You just picture them being right here.
Yeah, what I tell all the people that I meet is before you go to sleep tonight, bring into your mind first the essence of your child, your grandfather, your loved one,
her brother,
whomever it is that you want to bring in. Bring them in, and then not only see them, but bring in what that felt like. To hug each other, to love each other, right? And then go to sleep with that energy. That energy, not the energy of, I'm never going to get a message, not the energy of, no one wants to talk to me, not the energy that it doesn't exist, but the energy that love, that made your relationship something special. Bring them into your mind. I always bring, here's what I do. When I want to feel my mother, I remember the day that she and I and some friends of mine went to an ocean near my house, and we walked out into the water, and she wanted to put her feet in the water. It was probably her last trip there, and her flip-flops got stuck in the sand. Well, we laughed so hard about that, and I bring that image into me, and somehow that peace, that joy overtakes the fear, the restlessness, all of those other feelings. And so really just work at it day by day, slowly trying to make those connections.
You know, I lost my son.
Yes.
Her brother.
Yes.
So he's appeared to me in different dreams. And one time he appeared and it was in another room. And I was looking, and I had a guardian angel with me or something. And he said to me, you see? I said, no, I can't see. I can't see, you know. He said, stoop down a little, like there was a bar. And I stooped down on a little, and I looked, and there was my son laying on a bed, you know, with his head on the backboard, you know, sitting
yes.
up, look, with his arms folded, smiling. And he says, see, I'm with you all the time. You just can't see me.
Oh, you bring up a very valid point. Most people want to see, but there are other ways to have the conversation. We feel, we sense, we know. You know, one of my new lines is, I'm 54 years old, I'm going to stop arguing with what I know. I'm going to celebrate that knowing. So mothers have said to me before, sons have said to me before, I know my mother's there, but I want to see them. When is the knowing, the seeing, the feeling, the hearing their voice going to be as acceptable as the seeing? Because in the world that I live in, I think all of those aspects, those parts, those communication skills are all important. It's not just one or the other. They're all important.
And we should be aware, too, huh? People should be aware of the signs.
Yes.
You know?
I think we're brought up to, the society and media makes you believe that if you don't see something, it isn't true. And that's why
absolutely true.
People don't...
And we live in a world that wants instant gratification, and it doesn't always happen that way. Look, if you want to get a message from your loved one, you have to work at it. You have to get the doubt out of your head. You've got to get the fear out of the way. You've got to get some old person in your head saying, don't do that, it's bad. You've got to get all those things out of the way. And once you get those things out of the way, then you have to trust that what you're feeling, that peace that you're feeling, comes from your loved one, from the heavens, from the universe, because I think it's important. It's really, really important.
I'm thinking, you know, just thought came to my mind when you said that, don't do that, you know. I think that's what happened with people. They, from some religions and movies and things like that, they've shown where people have had a connection with some spirit passed over, but it was a low entity, a low spirit,
sure.
a poltergeist, or something that was, and I think that is what maybe makes people afraid. Do you think?
Well, look, turn on the TV. You can watch very scary, ghostly, spooky things that will freak you out, right? Those things exist. That exists.
Yeah,
but I'm saying to you that there's another side. If right in front of you was a beautiful park bench and one side said love and one side said fear, where would you go to sit? You would choose love. You would choose that place to sit. The same thing applies here. we have to start making the choices that allows this experience to come to us.
That's right. And we have to believe in it and believe in the love.
Yes.
Feel the love and
Yes.
give the love.
Yes.
Right?
We have to. It's all about. I don't mean to be too lovey-dovey about the
No,
whole
it's
thing,
not.
but
It
it's about
is.
love.
It is. That's all there is.
It's
all there
all
is.
about love.
It is all about love.
Yes, I know. I know it's a little washed over these days, but it is important.
It is, isn't it?
It's critically important. You know, I've often told people that heaven is not just up in the stratosphere. Heaven is in the eyes of my 24-year-old daughter. It's in the embrace of my friends. It's in the memories of my mother and all the fun and the joy that we shared in our lives. It's in every part of our lives, and it's important for us to experience all those parts of our lives.
Do you notice that when you have people at your show, when you talk to them or give them messages, do you notice that the grief kind of falls away from them and they finally kind of recover after they
Yeah, you
talk
know,
with you?
can I tell a story about this?
Of course you can.
I did an event in New York, and I will never forget this guy. Never forget him and his family. There was a young family sitting in the room. Their father had passed away very tragically, and I realized that I had already pre-recorded a message for them. It was about a bus accident, and it was just horrific for this family. I handed the paper to the family. A year later, almost to the day, I get a letter from the person who hosted the event in New York. And she said to me in the letter that the young man that received that message, went back to school and was able to tell his friends what he was feeling, was able to share his story. That is the therapeutic power of what a message does for someone grieving. So I have seen it. I've seen it 1,000 times.
That's gonna
Dina.
be
I've seen it over and over again. I've also seen that people have 1,000 more questions, right? Because my being there once is not going to satisfy the ache and the pain that a father or a son or a mother or a sister has for the loss of someone. But we can help, though, and we can be there, and we can stand by each other's side, because that's what we're supposed to do.
That must be very fulfilling for you.
It is.
It makes it all worth it.
It is. I say to everyone I meet, I'm the lucky guy here. I'm the lucky one. I get to do this every single day, and I get to stand by the side of someone, hold their hand, and just walk through the experience. Can I tell another quick story? I don't know where we are time-wise. But
No, we're fine.
okay. I did an event recently, and I'm channeling, and I'm feeling it, and I'm giving the messages, right? And all of a sudden, I hear in my head this woman, this young girl's grandmother say to me, "Give her your watch." And I said to myself, no, right? I'm not giving my watch up, I'm having this fight with the spiritual world, right? And I hear again, "Give her your watch." I stretch my arm out like this. I take my watch off, and I hand it to this girl. And I said to her, "It is now time, that's why you're getting this watch, for you to take your life back. Because when your grandmother passed, you broke in 1,000 pieces. So somewhere out there in the world is a girl wearing my watch, because
To keep.
yeah, to keep.
Wow.
When the spirit world tells you to do something, I do it. I've been at events where I've had to give out $50, $20, $5. My watch, that's the latest one. But what it did for that girl was reminded her that what existed, right, remains. That every time she looks at the watch, she bypasses the experience that she had with me, and she comes to some realization, wow, maybe my grandmother is really looking out for me. I'm not the medium that believes they're all laying around on a cloud.
Oh, no.
I don't think they're all hanging around, sitting around smelling flowers, but in fact, I think they're part of us. And because they're part of us, it allows us to step forward, As a medium, I tell people, I'm not in the business of talking to dead people. I'm in the business of talking to the living, to you here and now, so that you can take a step through your own loss and grief about your brother's passing, so that you can feel something from him. And I'm quite sure, by the way, that he's been talking to you. I'm quite sure that he's been talking to you for a very long time, and that this in my head, in my heart, something's happening. Several days after he passed, he started talking to you. 4 or 5 days after his passing, he was talking to you. He was trying to fill you with his energy, his love, his connection, but it was hard for you to see everything. You're seeing more now than you've ever seen in your entire life. And when you were 5 years old or 6 years old or 7 years old as a young kid, you felt things too. It went quiet. It went dormant. It went to sleep for a little while. And all of a sudden, something happened. Something happened in your life, May 2015, that triggered these changes. So for 1.5 years, you've been on a mission. You've been on the biggest mission of your spiritual life. And something triggered that experience. You feel him. He does this to you.
I feel him all the time.
Yeah, it's like he's just there, standing by your side. There's something I understand about the work that I do. They all don't want to tell us, well, you should see what it looks like on the other side. You know, they want to tell us, I've been standing by your side. And sometimes, to me, it's demonstrated at a time in our lives where we need them. He has been there very aggressively with you all through 2015 and in part of 2014, helping you to come to your awakening or your understanding. He's going to be very active at sending you dragonflies and butterflies and all these things, he says, because he does that. And please don't misread this. He hasn't reincarnated as a dragonfly. That's not his gig in life.
Oh my God, dragonfly.
One second. He hasn't reincarnated as one. What he's saying to you is those dragonflies come when you're down and out. When you are so down and out. And your mother doesn't even know this, by the way. Can I continue to talk to you?
Yes.
When you are so down and out and you're trying to push through something and you wonder if you have the strength to move through it, your brother sends you this magnificent sign to say to you, I've got it covered. I'm there with you. I'm not going to let you down. And that's why he comes. It's not any more dramatic than that, you know. As human beings, we want to see the big picture. What about the little picture that says, I haven't left your side? The other thing is, he felt, I don't know what kind of relationship you had with him, but it was good. It was strong.
Yeah,
there was strong. There was nothing about it that was unsettled. And when he passed, you couldn't believe it, and you still can't. You can't. And when you drive from one place to another, you're having these amazing conversations with him, and you just want him to be there. And you did enough for him. You did enough for him. You always did enough for him. You did.
Next question.
No. He's telling me to tell you.
Okay.
He's telling me to tell you that you did enough for him. And he doesn't want you to cry about this anymore. He doesn't want you to cry about that anymore. He doesn't. He wants you, as hard as this will be, to celebrate your whole life, no matter how short or long it was. You know what I just heard? I'm not upset with you guys. I'm not upset with you guys. I'm not. And you tried to keep me together. You did. Remember the 2 years before I passed? You remember what you went through with me, he says. Do you remember what hold on now. Do you remember what our family went through? Do you remember it? He says, it was so hard.
It was tumultuous.
It was so hard. He says, every 2 years, every day was like this. Not a week, not a month, but every day it was like this. And he says, for the first time, he can catch his breath. He says, I can breathe on the other side. I can breathe, Mom. Like, Mom.
Wow. That's
Hold
great.
on. I can breathe. Hold on. I don't even know where we are. I just kind of lost track of where we were.
Right.
What a life I live.
Wow.
Hang on. You have to leave this place today, both of you, knowing that you gave him every possibility. And the 2 years before he passed, he just couldn't come around it. He couldn't get around it. He couldn't think through it. You want me to carry on?
Sure.
He couldn't think through it anymore, and it said it was one battle after another for him, but that battle started long before the 2 years before he passed. He says, guess what? I don't hurt inside anymore. I'm not broken anymore.
Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it?
I'm not broken anymore. And somehow, he wants you to feel that love again. Not the pain of the life, but the love of the life. You know what? Sometimes it's easier to choose the pain.
Yeah, you're right.
It is. We get so saturated and cloaked in the pain, we forget the glimmer of love that was just before that. He's telling me to tell you that when you drive from one place to another, it's his voice. It's his voice. And you taught him how to love the animals. You taught him that. He says he's better at that on the other side, though. You taught him what to do. What to do.
She taught us both.
Do you understand what mediumship is really about? It's not about the medium walking on stage and saying, I think his name starts with a P or a B or a G.
Yeah, like you see in the movies.
It's walking into that space, taking the energy you feel, walking up to someone and saying, this is what I have. A tiny little story of your journey together. It's not a guessing game. If you want to guess, go see another medium. What it is, at least from my perspective, it's remembering the love and getting past these aches and pains that hold us back to that spot where it's easy to remember the love. Many of the people I meet say to me, I only remember the things I didn't do. I remember the day, this is what someone said to me, my mother was dying in bed, but I had to go home and take the cat out, or the dog out, or whatever the story is, right? Right? But that woman forgot that weeks before she sat by her mother's bedside when somebody else was taking care of the dog or whatever. We forget.
I think we punish ourselves
We
for some
do.
reason. Yeah.
We forget the contribution that we made. We forget what we gave. We remember the pain with a lot more ease than we do the love that we gave so willingly from who we are, who we were in those moments together. You are inseparable with your brother. You were one. You had an amazing connection to the guy. And when he passed, you've been trying to catch your breath now since his passing. And I know. You know how I know this right now? I just know it. When are we going to stop fighting the knowing? You know your son's with you. You know your brother's with you. But we want the sign that's going to transform us.
Did he show you a picture of a dragonfly? Because that's where I associate him. He did that.
You know what? It
all
doesn't
the
matter
time.
how it came.
Wow.
It matters that it was there.
Wow.
You know what really matters, though? Here, listen to this for a second. Just because I say it doesn't mean it's truthful. Truth comes when you made a decision to step into the experience with me and really see that as an opportunity, because all he's trying to do is tell you one little tiny thing. The truth isn't because I said it. It's because you felt something when the words came out, and then it manifested into truth for you. And that's how it works. Forget about all the scary TV shows. Forget about all that stuff. This is a new time and a new age of discovering what mediumship is all about. And it's about bridging grief to peace. It's taking a step through so that we can live our lives. And you got to go on.
That's so true.
You got to go
That is
on,
so
though, because you too have been a little down and out, heavy-hearted, and you think that he didn't know. And now your mother knows that you've been heavy-hearted, and now the audience knows. So, but how, show your face. How fortunate, though, is it for that one person watching right out there who needs the support? Because if you have the courage to step into the message, then maybe somebody else out there does too. And what a world this would be, really.
Ugh.
Right? If we all walked it with a little more peace and a little more ease. And that's what I have to say. I'm long-winded, as you
That's
know.
what we try to spread.
You were so on with everything you were saying about him and his problems. You really were so absolutely...
You know what? I know the story quite clearly because I saw his struggle. I felt it.
Much struggle.
I know. And a lifetime of struggle. Not 2 years,
No.
but a lifetime of struggle.
Yeah.
And the thing that brings me joy is that I can tell a mother, I can tell you, that you sacrificed so much time for your son. You worked out every detail that you could for him. And what I can say to you, Rosemary, is that the love between a mother and a son hasn't died. The truth of what made you mother and son still remains, still exists. And what joy do I have in my heart, in my life, to say to you, you did a good job taking care of your son.
Right.
Because you did. And that's what he wants you to carry, not the pain.
Okay. Thank you, because I've been carrying that. Always saying, right, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough.
Could it be, though? Could it be that everything was orchestrated for us to be together today?
I guess. Oh, yeah. I believe
Could
in
it
that.
be that all of it came together? This is the first time you and I sit together here.
Yeah.
I've been here 2 times or 3 times before. It's the first time that we meet. Why is his message so strong? Because you needed it. Because you needed it. And what I want you to do right now is I just want you to breathe it in. I don't want you to get human on me now. I don't want you to think about how did it get to him, how does he do this, and
No.
don't go human.
No, I don't.
human,
I
yeah.
just, it's
Be
amazing
spirit.
that you said what you said.
Be
Because
spiritual. Be
it's
spirited.
just, wow.
And just feel the energy that he's trying to present you. That's the joy of mediumship. It's the therapeutic aspect of mediumship.
Yeah.
I'm not here to convince you, impress you, get you to believe me. I'm here to tell the story I understand. And at the end, you decide. If you say to yourself, or anybody out there says to themselves, God, that guy's nuts, I'd say, get in line. There's plenty of people that think I'm a little bonkers.
Yeah.
But I'm there with my mother's love, my friends that have passed, the angels I believe in, the presence of God in spirit, the knowledge that heaven exists, the knowledge that heaven is here. I live with those things. But we all can live with those things.
Yeah, we can.
We can.
It's funny because I don't even know if you know that my picture of him in my plant window is in a frame with dragonflies around it.
Oh,
I don't remember.
no. That's a beautiful thing.
But you know what you are, Roland?
What?
And when I feel this, and when I tell my message that came to me, you are just love. You are just pure love.
Then-
That's why
love.
people want to be around you
And
more
you
than
want,
because
and you
they
spread
feel
that love wherever you go, and people can feel it.
Then I thank you.
It's in your total being, your eyes,
Thank
everywhere.
you.
It shines out.
Thank you.
I think people feel they want to be near someone who's about that because
Yeah.
they don't feel it enough.
We all can be that for each other once we get out of that spot
Yeah.
that we get stuck in. And,
Stuck in.
interestingly enough, I get stuck in that spot too.
Oh, yeah.
We all get stuck in that spot.
We do at
But
times.
I appreciate those sentiments. Thank you very much.
Oh,
that's
that's
I
how I
appreciate
feel.
them.
I know we're running low on time, but the question you had on there is why do they send us these signs? Why do they communicate with us?
And my answer is why not?
Why not? Yeah.
That's the why not? Why not tell us there's something else? Why not help us through our grief? Why not push us forward? Why not give us strength? Why not encourage us? Why not? Let's just accept it the way it is. Love doesn't die. The body dies. I'm a nurse. The body dies. But the love that makes us who we are remains a part of our experience. And that's what I know.
We've got about 3 minutes left, but I wanted to say one more thing. So if somebody says to you, how do I know this is an actual spiritual communication? How do I know?
This is how you know. The first moment you have a spiritual contact or communication from your loved one, there's an instantaneous, peaceful feeling of unbridled love. It's almost in the milliseconds of time, right? That stuff comes, and then our mind kicks in and says, oh no, that can't be that. We begin a negotiation with what we feel.
You're so right.
But the very first instant, it's all very peaceful. It's like you can't believe how good that feels, and then it changes because our mind tells us that it can't be that.
You're so absolutely right. You're so right. We do that.
We do that. We all do that. We do it in our everyday lives. Forget about spiritual communication for a minute. We do it in our lives. We know we're supposed to take a right, but we go straight anyways. But we know it, and we fight that feeling. The minute someone communicates a message to us, an angel, a guide, a guardian, a love, a person, a something, the first second, the first millisecond of time, it's, oh, all right. And then we begin this whole thing. We're more trouble to ourselves than the universe is to us.
That's right.
We are, because the answers are right here. When I died and I went to the other side, that voice said to me, all the answers are in your heart. They're not in the heart of mediums. They're not in the heart of your neighbors. They're not in the heart of your pastor. They're in you. And when you recognize that, then the whole universe is available to you, which means your loved ones and everything else.
You know what I have to say? I think we should just rejoice. Rejoice in the fact that there's life after.
Yes.
That they're there to communicate through wonderful people like yourself that have focused on it, and that we can all do this if we want to, you know, and you spread that message of love, and everyone should just rejoice and be happy.
Yes, for sure.
Do you have any last minute thing you want to say to the audience out there?
Well, I want to say to you, take your time. Pace yourself. Go easy on yourself. Try to recognize what that peaceful, loving feeling is, and when you find it, absolutely never let it go. That's what I would say. Of course, I got a lot more I could say.
I know. We could just talk for hours and hours and hours.
We'll plan your return again soon.
I'd love that.
Yes, we got to do that again. All right, well, we'll give our contact information now.
Thank you.
As soon as they put it up there. To get in touch with Roland Comptoir, it's rcomtois@admin@gmail.com. And his website is www.rolandcomptoir.net. And you can see him on Facebook, too. Go there and read what he puts up there. And don't forget what he's going to be having coming up pretty soon. It's going to be wonderful. And our contact information. To reach me, Rosemary Lachance, the phone number is 203-627-7966. My email is whitebuffalo8@comcast.net, and my website is www.rosemarylachance.com. Dina?
And for me, my email is freewin1@comcast.net, or you can find me on Facebook and Twitter under D. Scungio.
Right. And I'm also on Facebook, as is our show on Facebook, okay? Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So
It was a
much
pleasure
for
being with you guys.
here.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being with you.
So wonderful.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.
Speaking with us.
Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Feel your thirst beside the river. Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far, you understand.